So we've just came off a pretty big stretch of some off-road buggy racing with the B7. We've made a lot of changes to this car over the past week. And one of the biggest changes that we did was we added the R1 KPI adapters. So that way we could more easily change our KPI and see what it actually does for our driving styles and things on the track. So let's go over some of it right now. I'm Chad, this is the Dorky and 40 RC channel. Let's talk about KPI today. So we got the buggy here and the R1 KPI adapters. And you know, if you haven't seen them, the R1 site, you can go and check them out. So basically, you've got a multi-piece design right here. Instead of replacing the entire hub assembly here with a plastic one like you get from Associated, which I know they have like a team set out now that's a little bit different. What you do is you actually add spacers in between here to move this piece away from this piece right here. And if you look real closely, you will see that there are two black screws there, and then you have a piece that kind of goes over, and then you have spacers in between. Right now I'm running KPI 3, so there's actually two spacers in there. There's like a 3 and like a 0.5, which was kind of annoying to do to get up to KPI 3. So I'm just gonna say right off the bat that I would recommend everybody just go immediately to KPI 3. I think it just made the car a lot better to drive. It gives you a lot more mid and exit steering, at least for my driving style and my setup. So much that now there is things that I'm gonna have to do to improve in corner and off power type of setup. So we can do things with kick up and caster and things to work on that. The beauty about this though is I've broken a hub before and I've had to replace it. And if you don't have extra spares, then you're going around trying to borrow like a KPI 2 or a KPI 1 off of somebody, so on and so forth. The R1 stuff comes with all the screws and the spacers that you need to either add or remove to go up and down in KPIs. I think, again, it would be best to start at 3 and see how you think the car will work. I don't think it's going to be extra edgy or anything like extra crazy for anybody. If I can handle it, then I'm pretty sure that any of you can handle it too. I know most of our local people have actually went to KPI 3 already, whether they have these or they have the regular setup as well. You do get as well with the kit 2 of their titanium type of screws to replace the screws that are in your caster block here, which is pretty nice. So that was a nice added bonus in the kit. And you know, like, it's a pretty cool looking setup now, the way everything goes there. So that's pretty much what it looks like. You can see that it's totally spaced over. Now, when it comes to like, is this KPI 3 equal to the KPI 3 that you would get from the Associated pieces? I'm not sure. The R1 stuff does actually allow you to go 0, 1, 2, and 3, where the Associated is 1, 2, and 3, with 1 being 0. I think that's the way that goes. Also, the fit in the hub was, you know, perfectly fine here in the C block. You didn't have to worry about, you know, shaving any material or anything like that. When you tighten everything up together, there was lots of free movement and play. So there was no binding. Everything stuck out really well and just worked. And again, racing with these tires, with the lightweight vehicle versus going to the bigger track where we run slicks on the carpet indoor, it definitely performed very well. We can take a look at some race footage here for a minute or two if you wanted to see, just to see how well the car was performing. So yeah, in the end, I definitely am not going back to KPI 2, at least until I find a reason to do so. The other thing I have noticed that I've been doing lately is actually taking a lot of this stuff back to kit form anyway. It seems to be working now that I'm getting better at driving the car and understand how the B7 actually works. And from what I've actually kind of discovered, the B7 has a very wide operating window, but it doesn't like to have things fooled around with. So for example, I've noticed lately that I've been fighting a problem with the bucking of the car over lumps and bumps, which I didn't have in that last video. But what I noticed instead, now what I was noticing was I was getting some weird nosing over during flight, just, you know, off of jumps, just kind of a weird, something's going on just kind of with the weight distribution. So what I actually did was I want to run the B7 how it was intended to be ran. So we took the R1 3 gear out of here and went with the associated 5 gear. And just looking at it offhand, I haven't got to run it like this yet. It's pretty freaking crazy because there is like no room in here now, where beforehand I had all of this empty dead space here. And some people, of course, were moving the battery forward, like myself, one spot to try to make up for the difference of all of this being forward. But now we've seen with Associated that they're coming with the -4 chassis, and that is very popular. So it seems that for tighter type of tracks, the whole like trying to centralize and get this entire package together a little bit more seems to be kind of like the going trend. I'm sure we're going to learn way more about it when carpet season kicks off even harder and we get more people out running the vehicles, especially like some of the pro drivers and stuff, to see how much more development goes into this. So I guess you can come back and take a look at how this actually performs. We'll have off-road again in about a week and a half, and tomorrow night it's oval with the little truck. So super stoked about that. But I've got a few other videos that I want to talk about what happened over the past weekends with this car, and those will be coming up on the channel next. So KPI R1 stuff, definitely recommend, guys. Talk to you guys later. Peace.